What's up everybody, Matt Maran here for another My Week With video. So this week I've been driving the 2025 Nissan Altima SV Special Edition. And so for 2025, the Altima carries over unchanged after getting a refresh in the 2023 model year that gave you the new styling on the outside, this big 12.3 inch screen on higher trims on the inside here, and a few other minor little tweaks. And so for 2025, the new edition here is this SV Special Edition, which is actually a pretty good deal. So for less than $1,100 more than a regular SV all-wheel drive, which is the base version for this all-wheel drive system, it gives you a bunch of stuff. You get this 12.3 inch screen, you also get a moonroof, you get a wireless charging pad, you get the black wheels, the spoiler, and a few other little touches here. Another thing you get with the SV Special Edition is this carbon fiber like trim. It's not real, of course, but it's a cool look, except that the front dash still has the wood that you would otherwise get on a regular SV. And again, it's not real wood either, but it's a nice looking trim, but it's just kind of a mismatch to me of the wood and the carbon fiber. I would have assumed if you're getting carbon fiber trim, it would all be carbon fiber, and instead it's just on the doors and on the center here, but not on the dashboard. And so I guess that just comes down to subjective taste, whether or not you like that combo, but just seems like a strange way to do that. And I mean, a lot of stuff for $1,100. And so in that context, if you are shopping Altimas, this special edition is a good value. I will get to more of the competitors in a few minutes though, and how this isn't a great value though still, unfortunately, for 2025. But as far as just this vehicle in general, so I already spent a full week with an all-wheel drive Altima back in 2020 actually, and it really hasn't changed much since then, aside from, again, those minor tweaks for the refresh here. But the all-wheel drive Altima, in my opinion, has always been, a nice alternative if you don't want the Subaru that everyone automatically goes for, when they think all-wheel drive, or if you're not interested in some of the other, competitors these days. This was a nice competitor, and in 2020 it was really one of the only competitors. This was right when Camry first started adding all-wheel drive, and it was really great of Nissan to finally give people an alternative for people who didn't want a legacy. And so as far as my updated impressions here, 5 years later basically, honestly, it's kind of a mixed bag for the Altima, in my opinion. One of the annoyances is that you have pretty dead throttle response compared to a lot of other vehicles in this segment. And maybe Nissan has done that to try and improve fuel economy in the real world by really dulling that response. I'm not sure, but it just means that, driving around town, you have to be a little more aggressive with your throttle inputs if you want to get the same acceleration out of this that you would get out of, a Camry or a Legacy or any of those others that I think feel a little more responsive off the line than this does. Now, whenever you are up and running, this has, very similar power figures to a Legacy, so, not going to be a wild difference. And even compared to like the Kia K5, which now offers all-wheel drive, very similar amounts of power here. So it's not like the Altima's down on power, it's just the way they tuned it that makes it feel a little sluggish. But if you're not afraid of mashing the gas a little harder, then this is going to be right in line with all the others from a performance standpoint in a straight line, and it's going to be totally fine in that regard. One area though where I feel like Nissan has always done a better job than all of its competitors in this segment, at least, is with these seats. It has these zero gravity seats in these that are hands down still, I think, the most comfortable seats out of any sedan in this class of mid-size sedans. It is phenomenal with the comfort, and even these ones, just being regular cloth and not being heated or anything, they're still, fantastic seats. And if you do a lot of miles, Altima might be one of the best picks just because of the seat comfort alone, because it is really that fantastic. And that has always been one of my favorite parts about these. And that has also spread to other Nissans, but Altima especially does it very, very well. One thing that might annoy you after a while, though, behind the wheel with the Altima here is this vinyl wheel that you have, this plasticky steering wheel. Unfortunately, you don't have a leather-wrapped wheel here in this SV Special Edition. In order to get a leather-wrapped wheel, you have to go up to SR or higher, and that's about a $2,000 upcharge. It also gives you heated seats and, maybe one or two other things, along with the sportier styling and bigger wheels you get on the SR. But it's just unfortunate that you know, even over $30,000 as tested, we still have a plasticky wheel. I don't love that. And one thing that I typically do talk about in these My Week With videos is fuel economy. And this week I didn't drive a ton, so I don't have a great fuel economy average to share as far as being accurate. I mean, I can share I'm getting 27.2 mpg currently from the, you know, a little bit of driving I did, but again, I didn't do a ton of driving this week in this. But the last time I had one of these for a week, I got 25 mpg, and that was in the middle of the wintry months, so a little bit more of a drag on fuel economy. But you know, so something around there is probably what you can expect as a safe bet. These are rated at 25 mpg in the city according to the EPA. It does 34 mpg on the highway and 28 combined is, again, those EPA ratings. And again, with this more dull throttle tuning than what I remember, you might get better fuel economy, you know, in this compared to some of the others, which are a little more eager with their power delivery. But really the last thing to mention that I really have to talk about that because it's important is the pricing though, and how this compares to the competition. So these start just over $30,000 for a regular SV all-wheel drive, again, the entry-level point for the all-wheel drive Altimas. And then this one, as tested, is about $32,500, again, because of that special edition package, plus floor mats and a couple of little things that drive the price up there. And so at $32,500, this isn't a great value these days. The king as far as all-wheel drive values is the Subaru Legacy still. It's the original, and it still continues to be the best value of the bunch. Those start around $26,000, way less than this. And then even if you go for one that's comparably equipped to this, you're still coming out with a nice discount of about $1,200 less for the Legacy, comparably equipped, you know, having a moonroof, having, you know, the big screen and, you know, all the other things. You know, you come out with a nice savings there for the Legacy. Now, I will say that I think the Legacy is a little noisier for its engine. This is a nice quiet runner. That is one other nice perk of this. So, I mean, of course, there are some pros and cons for sure. But if you're not shopping for base models, I think there's an even better value in the all-wheel drive sedan segment these days. And that is the Kia K5, which offers all-wheel drive now for 2025 in the GT line trim. And those are about $30,745, comparably equipped to this. So at that point, you're coming in almost $2,000 less than this with all the same stuff. And it also gives you, I think, like heated seats as standard at that price tag. So you even get more than this has. And you also get digital gauges in those compared to the analog ones here in this. You even get a heated steering wheel with that GT line version. And it also gives you these synthetic leather seats. There's a bunch of nice upgrades. And then if you want to add a premium package onto that, you get a panoramic roof, you get a Bose stereo, and even that one is just $200 more than this one as tested. And so, I mean, again, when you're talking about these kinds of numbers where it's same money or less money by a significant margin for more stuff, K5 GT line is absolutely the play right now. That is the way to go if you want the best value in this segment. But there is a new contender now, which is also worth considering in my opinion. The last contender is the new Toyota Camry for 2025, which is all hybrid now across the board for 2025, and that also offers all-wheel drive. And for the front-wheel drive versions, you get up to 53 mpg with that hybrid. Now, it does drop down into the high 40s with the all-wheel drive system, but still, I mean, we're talking way more fuel economy than this does. And depending on the equipment you want, if you can live without the 12-inch screen and you're okay with an 8-inch screen, the Camry actually comes out to just be, I think, about $32,500 or so, maybe $33,000 tops, comparable to this, as long as you're okay with the smaller screen and 16-inch wheels. But if you want one that does have the big screen and does have the black, slightly larger wheels like this has, you'll have to go up to an SE Camry. Those end up being about $2,000 more than this as tested. But even at that price premium, you know, $2,000 more is no chump change. But if you're willing to spend $2,000 more, not only do you get the better fuel economy, which means you'll probably make up for you know, that extra cost eventually, but also you get a much more powerful hybrid system with 232 horsepower in that all-wheel drive Camry, and they are fantastic performers, great handling. I actually just spent a week with one recently, really loved it. And you know, Camry's just, it's really well done here for 2025. And so, you know, if you have the disposable cash, you know, the Toyota also, it's got reliability that is so famous and, you know, so well known. Camrys are just known to be indestructible, even the hybrid ones especially. So I think, you know, that is really a tempting consideration, especially if you would appreciate the extra power or, you know, the Toyota famous reliability. You know, I think that even with that one being a price premium, it is worth a premium. And so, you know, for that reason, I think that all three of these are better than the Altima. I think, you know, there's a better value with, you know, the Camry, there's a better value with the Legacy and with the K5. And, you know, when you go to the dealership, maybe you'll get a bigger discount on the Nissan compared to some of those competitors, especially like the Toyota being fresh and new. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, that's just going to come down to your deals. Unfortunately, I can't, you know, discuss that because it comes down to how well you can negotiate, what the situation is like in your area with your dealers. But I have to compare from an MSRP standpoint. And from an MSRP standpoint, this is just not competitive, unfortunately. You know, again, real world transactions might suggest there's an edge here if you can get a bigger discount on one of these. But, you know, not assuming that, this is just, it's just more expensive than the others. You get less for your money than you get with the others. And so for that reason, I can't really recommend the Altima. And it's kind of sad because it does seem like the Altima is on its way out. The rumors suggest that it'll be replaced possibly in 2025 or 2026 here, you know, for a electric sedan instead. We will see. I mean, you know, what the future holds for Altima, whether the nameplate goes away altogether, or it returns at a later date or what. But, you know, for now, it seems like it's on its way out, and it's not going out with a bang, really, because it's just, again, not a great value, at least as far as the sticker price goes. So, anyway, that's all of my thoughts here on the 2025 Altima all-wheel drive. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Huge thanks to Nissan for providing me here with this Altima to review for you guys today. Yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.